Morning guys, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me again. This morning I'm in my local woodland where we've got some really fantastic foggy conditions. The mist and fog is just rolling through the trees and it's producing some really nice conditions, so I'm hoping to capture something nice from that. I was actually here yesterday during some heavy snow showers and I managed to get some really nice images, so I thought I'd combine the two mornings together and put it into a single vlog and show you what I've been up to. So let's jump back to yesterday and I'll show you what the images are that I captured in the snow from yesterday. So let's go. In this week's video, I'm in my local woodland, literally 5 minutes down from where I live, and today we've got some fantastic snowy conditions. I'm going to try and get some nice winter woodland shots. So I'm at one of my favourite locations. I've shot this tree loads of times before in all seasons. I just thought I'd come today and try and get some shots of it in the snow. So let's see what we can come up with. So as you can see, I've got this fantastic tree here, this old oak tree. It sort of spirals up and splits off into different directions. It's surrounded by these really nice silver birch. And I've come here quite a few times before to try and shoot it because I like the contrast between the straight lines in the silver birches and the sort of sprawling nature of the oak tree. So I'm going to be shooting that now and I'll explain my settings. Alright guys, so I've set my composition up now. I'm shooting on the 18 to 55mm lens and around 20mm at the moment on this D3100, and I'm shooting at f5.6, so I really want to get that. Alright guys, so I've set my composition up now. I'm shooting on the 18 to 55mm lens. I'm around 20mm, so it's quite a wide shot reasonably, and I'm shooting at f5.6, so I really want that tree to be nice and sharp. I'm not too bothered about the background blurring out because it is quite snowy and there's a bit of atmosphere there, so I'm not too bothered if it gets soft towards the back of the image. I'm shooting at 1/20th of a second, so it is, even though we're in the woodland, it is quite bright with all the snow reflecting the light, so normally you'd have to have a longer shutter speed in this sort of environment, but today with all the snow there's light bouncing around everywhere, so it's quite bright. ISO 100. I've just got the 2-second timer on. I've got this cloth just covering the lens until I'm ready to take the shot. So once I've got everything set up in terms of the settings, I'll basically whip the cloth off and take the shot. So let's do that now. So one thing that I've been considering while being taking my woodland, especially over the last couple of months during these local sort of woodland walks, is the crop and how that'll affect the image. And like a lot of other photographers, I've sort of favoured the 1x1 crop, and I really think that sort of makes everything really simple. And especially with a subject like this, you can kind of get that in the centre of the frame, and it sort of simplifies the image and makes it look a lot more balanced. So I'm going to take this into post-production, this image, and try and fit it into the 1x1 crop. Okay, so we've just walked on a little bit now and we've come across this other tree which I'm really liking. I really like the detail in the actual trunk and this snow that's sticking to it, and also the soft background of the sort of creeping ivy that's covered in snow. I think that looks really good with like as a background, so I'm going to take that as a portrait shot. It's quite a tall image, so there's another tree quite close here which is going to get in the frame if I move back, so basically we have to go for a portrait like I said. I'm not too bothered about the sky at the moment. There's quite a lot of sky in this image, which normally you try and sort of eliminate in woodland photography, but with it being sort of really grey and full of snow, it's not really blowing any highlights or anything at the moment, so no, that's fine to include. So I'm going to set up now and take that shot. Alright guys, so I've got the composition set up here. As you can see, I've got it in portrait format, and I've got the tree as the main subject in the middle, with all the branches sort of splitting out at the top. I like this basically background here of the ivy and the snow. I think it's providing a really nice sort of grey background. Might even try this as a black and white. I think that'd look really interesting. And again, like I said, there's a lot of sky in this image, but it's not really blowing out or anything, so you know, basically it's not a problem there. So I'm going to take this shot now. Okay, so I'm really happy with those two images, and I think they'll do on their own, to be honest with you, if that's the only two that I get from this trip. I'm really pleased with those. I'm going to have a wander around now and explore a little bit more and see if I can get any more images. I'm just going to hand hold those because it's quite snowy, and it's sort of covering the lens, and it's proving quite difficult to keep it clean, even though I've got the cloth with me. But these two cameras that I'm using to shoot with, they're not weather sealed as such, so you know, I'm really pushing it as it is, and I don't want to sort of damage any equipment. So let's have a wander around and explore and see if we can come up with any more compositions. Right guys, so I've come across this third composition now, and I'm using this gnarly old tree as the main sort of subject. It's got some really nice nodules and branches coming off it, and that's holding the snow really well, so it's providing a lot of contrast and detail. I'm also using two other trees in the background there, just to provide some sort of repeating pattern. As we all know, 3 and sort of any other odd number looks really good in any sort of photography shot. So I'm using those 3 trees as like the subjects. I think that looks really good, and I've also got this small tree in the background there, which is holding on to the snow really well and the thin branches, and that looks really cool. I think there's a bit of detail in the background. One thing that I'd normally do in my woodland images is use a polarizer on the camera. That'd obviously cut through any sort of glare or anything, and it'd make the colours pop. But in this sort of scene, there's no colours or anything, and I don't want it to cut through this fog. I want to basically have that fog there and have the sort of the background really blurred, and sort of produce that really ethereal effect that the mist does. And I think it helps with the separation of the trees as well, and the layers through the image, and I think that really improves and helps the image. I really like this image, it looks pretty good. Especially with that tree, like I said, and the you know, the straight silver birch tree. It's a really nice composition, this. And like I said, I've been in all different conditions here: summer, spring, autumn, and it makes a good subject whatever the season. So I'll put that on screen for you now, and if you let me know down below what you think. Okay, so I've been walking around now for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we've come across this really nice clump of silver birch tree. I really like the way the snow and the ice is clinging to the branches and making them sort of droop over a little bit. I think it looks really cool. And I'm also able to get quite far back from the actual subject, so I can shoot through more of the atmosphere and therefore more fog, and that'll increase the effect of the sort of misty, foggy conditions, which is what I'm looking for. So because I'm shooting further back, I'll be shooting about f8, so that I've got a really nice depth of field, and make sure everything's nice and sharp within the image. And because we're in a clearing as well, it's quite bright, so I'll be thinking about my shutter speed. I've been really looking at the histogram. I've been shooting basically with the histogram as far right as I can without blowing out the highlights. It's really over to the right, so I've got all the detail in the shadows within the sort of the base of the trees and everything. Make sure I've got all that detail. So I'm also shooting about 18mm, which is as wide as I can get, to make sure I can get everything in. But obviously I can adjust that by moving backwards and forwards anyway within this field, so I can get the composition spot on, and I won't have to crop in afterwards, which is always really important. So yeah, I'm going to take that shot now and put it on screen and let me know what you think. Okay, so I really hope you've enjoyed the images from the last couple of mornings. It's certainly been fun and something different to get out and shoot in these conditions. If you want to let me know what you think about the images, please leave them down below in the comments. And if you could do me a big favour and hit the like and subscribe button, it really would help me improve my channel. So until next time, bye for now.